Hey guys, gals, everybody that comes to the live stream, welcome to the live stream. All right, so made a list. Gonna go off it. Gonna do probably a pretty quick live stream. Might just let it build, see what happens. I don't know. Might up and disappear like a fart in the wind. We'll see. It's nice to see you guys though. Thanks for showing up. Yeah. What's up, James Rohrbach? Mr. Robert Mazawa? DDKK. Joe Mama. Don't ever call her Joe Mammy. She'll rip your butthole open. Don't do that. It's nice to see you guys. All my favorites. And more. We'll see if they show. It's cool. It's cool. Some people catch this late. Some people can't catch it at all. I get it. Yeah, no kidding down there, D. It's cold up here. I don't like this shit at all. The older I get, the more I know I'm going to be somebody that goes down south over the winter. Like right after maybe the new year. I'll be here through Christmas, Thanksgiving. It's all beautiful. It's great. Maybe just through the new year, celebrate it. And then I'm going away for 60 days, 90 days, then coming back. It's fine. Those three months suck. They suck. Not only that, if you're into sports, there's really not any sports that take place after, what's it, early February. That's when the Super Bowl happens, first Sunday in February, something like that. And thankfully for me, my anniversary is in February. So I got that to celebrate. But I'm the exception. Shawnee gets a February celebration. And that's how that goes. And in the month of February, when most of you aren't thinking of being super awesome at your A game or any of this, and you're fighting all these other things, just know that Bill is having to worry about how am I going to show this woman that I still love her in February. Every year, February. Every year, February. Don't none of you hate on February no more. One of our kids was born in February too. That's a positive. But just saying, it's kind of a flyover month. You don't do it. You don't do it. All right. Well, so nice of you all to show. I figured I would just make a small list and go for a couple minutes and then wrap it up and get out of here. So that's what I'm aiming to do. So let me start off by saying outrage by the left. Outrage by the left. It's not a new story. It's a very old story. It's a story you've been watching. Have you not been watching? But the reason I wrote it down is because it's reaching to a pinnacle. It's happening right now. Panic right now. I know I say it often. panic in DC. When's it happening? It's happening right now. It's happening right now on mainstream television. There is a meltdown that is going down right in front of your faces. You have to watch it. You have to step back and watch it and look at it and go, holy shit. It's like right here. You're watching it. It's funny. You guys are living through it right now. The meltdown, living through it. Watching all of the reports that in 15 years, people will go back and go, watch these reports of when America first knew that shit was fucked up. And you'll be looking at that going, wow, that looks familiar. Yeah, because you're the awake. These reports, these things that are happening, don't forget the Q drops. Don't forget how monumental all of this is in the grand scheme of everything. The Q drops, they're back. They're coming in very slow. But there was a marker that was put out there that was shown to be, I think at this point, something that shows that Q is maybe back on the map with the 8 Kun. Now, whether it happens or not, I don't care. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. Plans too far ahead. So, the left is outraged by all of the truth bombs that are being let off everywhere. What is the common narrative? Donald J. Trump must be impeached. We've heard it. The loudest proponent of it is Maxine Waters. We must impeach 45. Impeach. I say we impeach. Impeach 45. Impeach 45. Well, we know from the drops that those that scream the loudest have the most to lose. So just line those people up that are the loudest and have the most to lose. Maxine Waters, check. Nancy Pelosi, check. Chuck Schumer, check. Gavin Newsom, check. Eric Swalwell, check. Cory Booker, check. Kamala Harris, check. Elizabeth Warren, check. Tulsi Gabbard, maybe. Don't know. Pete Buttigieg, total puppet. Bernie Sanders, globalist, check. Who did I forget? Amy Klobuchar from Minnesota. The mere fact that I had to clarify she's from Minnesota, I guess I had to because I got her name wrong. But it's Amy what? Klobuchar? Klobuchar from Minnesota. She's done. Oh, and the guy, Castro. And we already know Beto jumped off, which was the only admirable thing that he did in his entire campaign was to realize that finally when he bailed out and got out. So anyway, I don't know, getting way off topic. Now I'm drawing this all out into something. I wanted this to be like a 10-minute rant, and this is turning into a 20-minute fart in the wind. Kind of, all right, I'll just keep going. Fuck it. So no reason to impeach the president. There just simply isn't a reason to impeach him. Okay. You know what? I didn't my notes. I did write something I do understand. My notes are terrible. It's like I wrote a prescription for somebody that needed to have a prescription to get a writing course. These notes are awful. Next phase. I wrote that. Next phase. I don't know what the next phase is going to be. I do know we win. We win. Why does it? Can you see me? Can you see me? My computer just gave me a something. Can you hear me? See me? Any of that? See you in here. Okay, good, good, good. So, yeah, I don't know. Next phase. What will it bring? What is the next chapter? Everybody has to wake up. Not everybody, like isn't everybody, but a lot of people got to wake up. Is the next phase of this plan. And that's not all on the president and the message. They've done a good job of laying it out there. Now, do you have somewhat of a responsibility? Yes, you do. You do. Just own it. Are you supposed to be out there with a bullhorn and getting crazy and standing on street corners? No, that's not your role in this. What you are to be in the future, Patriots, is somebody that listens knowing the truth, that listen knowing all of the truth of what's going on, and waiting boop, 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 boop for an opportunity. Boop, 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 boop. Lock in. You hear somebody putting out their thoughts of confusion. They're leaving the door open. They're speculating. They're seeking for wisdom. They're seeking, that'd be a good way to put it. They're seeking for wisdom in a way that makes the world make sense to them because they're lost. Or at least not sure of themselves because of what's going on. That's an opportunity to not get weird. It's an opportunity for you to talk a little bit about the Great Awakening, everything going on. Okay. You can't hit people with the truth like a right cross. You can't do it. If you smack somebody in the mouth with the truth that you know, these people will sign the papers if it meant putting you in the loony bin with the tinfoil wrapped around your face. They'd sign the papers. And you would go in there, your hands tied behind your back, and your entire face would just be wrapped up in aluminum foil, looking like the Tin Man. You want some oil? No, bet you can't breathe. That was dumb. But anyway, you get it? You get it? I know you do. And I get it too. And we're winning. And let us not ever forget that we are winning, winning, winning. Like the globalists wish they could win. Globalists wish they could win. The globalists aren't winning. What's up, food stamp? You hard charger. What's up, brother? Brother. It's always good to see food stamp. I like food stamp. I'm too nice to food stamp. I have to be mean to food stamp so food stamp can slam me. Food stamp's like, I don't need you to be nice to me to slam you. Here, eat some dick. Have a bag of dicks. I'm just teasing. I don't know. Food stamp cracks me up. Can't help it. Can't help it. Sometimes you just find people that make you laugh. That shit happen. That's real. That's real. All right. So I got nowhere near being close to being on cue to like my perfect rant. I've screwed this thing entirely up. It's not so bad. I'm going to delete eat it, but it's thanks for coming. It's very exciting what's going on with Project Veritas, what they're releasing, what they released with ABC News. Did you watch it? Did you see any of it? With ABC News, Amy Klobuchar speaking about the entire Epstein. Did you guys see any of that? You probably did. Some of you probably did. Maybe one of you did, besides me. But I think a lot of you might have. And the real question, which I did hear from Jesse Waters when he was being interviewed tonight, not on the five, but he was interviewed, and he spoke about how basically this was known about 3 years ago, but it implicated Bill Clinton even further than he already was, because he's just a nasty, gnarly, nasty fuck of an individual. He just is. He's just a absolute disaster of a human being. And I voted for him twice, and I don't say that with any kind of happiness. But oh my God, you talk about hindsight 2020. Man, I believe that shit. And you know what? It's the Republicans' fault, kinda. They didn't put anybody up there that makes a shit of difference. It didn't matter anyway. The longer we went on, I didn't matter. I can beat myself up. I voted for Bill Clinton twice. I voted for what's his nuts? The world's gonna end in 12 years. You know what I'm talking about. Gore. Al Gore. I'm like the vice president. Man, I'm really fucked up. Sorry. Al Gore. That's who I was talking about. And then he didn't win, and Bush won. And then we went to war, and then 9/11, all that. And then we went to war, and then I vote. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Why am I even explaining it? The whole thing is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you voted for, any of it. None of it matters, anything of who you voted for until the last election in 2016. That's the only election that's mattered since Reagan was elected. And Reagan would have changed this world and put it upside down. That's why they shot him. That's why they shot him. He had all the ambition that Trump had to go in and change the world. The difference is Trump's campaign, everybody understands what they're up against. Why? Because they took out Kennedy and they tried to take out Reagan, which had they succeeded by something ridiculous like a half a centimeter, you would have had George Herbert Walker Bush taking over the presidency, initiating the 1,000 points of light. Read my lips, no new taxes. And he did win his 4-year election after Reagan had his 8 years. But people hated him so much. He went into a war and won it and still couldn't get re-election. Now, true, he was going against Bill Clinton, but Bill Clinton was a plant. It doesn't matter. Both sides are working to the same thing. They don't care. They're going towards a socialism agenda. The buck stops with Trump. Trump didn't let it happen. Not letting it happen. And when you want to see some real fucking fireworks, wait till after this next election. Think about the last thing that Nancy Pelosi said to Trump before she got up when they took that picture of her standing across the table with her finger up. They took that picture, and what she said to him was, "You just wait and see what we do to you. You just wait and see what we do to you." That's what that bitch said before she walked away from the president, and they let it go. And they said they had a very productive meeting after that with the Democrats. But that's what this bitch said. After all he's been through, after everything he's been through, she comes in to a meeting to be offended, to run out to the microphones, to set the whole narrative for this bullshit impeachment inquiry. And he treated her probably better than he should have. But it offended her to the point where he said, "You're a third rate politician." And she said, "I wish you were a politician." You know why? That bitch, no doubt, wishes he was a politician, because politicians are spineless and they can be bought. And this man ain't in the business of being bought. He would have never ran to be president to be able to be bought. Had he might have taken Bill Maher up on his suggestion 2 or 3 weeks ago, where he said, basically, Bill Maher was saying, "Mr. President, take a payout. All of the multimillionaires to the nth degree and billionaires, if everybody contributed $1 million, you could retire and be like the richest man on the planet." Okay, I embellish that, but like one of those type top tier positions. If everybody donated like $1 million, if he would basically step down, listen, it was a offer. In sales, you would call it a soft close. It was a soft close. "Mr. President, if I got all of my multimillionaire friends all across and all the millionaires in the world to each give $1 million, would you step down?" And it was a soft close. Because think about if every millionaire or multimillionaire or somebody with at least $20 million or more offered to give $1 million to Trump, how much would that be in the world? You would think that they would pay it. I think they would pay it at this point now, easily. And I love it that it doesn't matter. The whole fact that I'm bringing up is complete fodder. It's not even up for debate. Why? Because that dude loves Americans and he loves our country. And I didn't know that about this guy. I didn't know that about him as a civilian. Listen, I didn't watch The Apprentice. Did I know about The Apprentice? Sure. Did I ever catch an episode where he said "you fired" or something was it? Sure. Did I ever watch it? No. Why? Well, it wasn't because of Donald Trump. It was just because it was very chaotic and loud, and that's not how I want to come down at the end of the night, you know? So it had nothing to do with him. But he always seemed to be somebody that was pretty self-deprecating. He got up on some of the Oscar award shows and did some singing and some dancing and some hokey ass weird shit, dancing with a rake and a pitchfork and stuff. And you know what? That's cool. That's relatable. I didn't care about him one way or the other. Only when I found out how Trump felt about America did I care about how I felt about President Trump. That's when I decided that that's my guy. That's the world's guy. And you could take all your biblical scholars and all that, and you could throw them out the window and talk about him being an antichrist. No, he is getting rid of. When they scream peace, look out. This isn't the type of peace he's talking about. This isn't to bring in a new anything. Not at all. He's saying it's gone on long enough. The hardest thing he does, he said, and I believe him, is that he has to meet and greet and address these parents as they watch their beloved Patriots come off that humongous plane that flies them in with a flag draped over their coffin. And it's then when these people lose it. And Trump talks about that. And you know what? I believe him. That's the biggest thing he's got going for me. Of anything going on in life or any of this with what's going on in the world and all, I see this. When I listen to him and I watch him, I believe him. I believe him. And if I'm wrong when this is done, I will honestly believe that maybe there's no God. like, like if everything, all of this turns out to be a complete hoax and can't be situation, I might just drive the car right off the edge of a cliff and not into water. I'm going to make sure that there's just like an abandoned gully down there with some sharp ass jagged rocks. So that maybe want to slam through my windshield and just pierce my face and my skull. Because if this isn't what I suspect and feel rightfully so that it is, I'm not going to lie. It'd be devastating to me. And I don't want to be that way. Ever. I don't want to be devastated. The good news is that I don't think any of us are going to be devastated. I think we're going to be validated. It's true. I do. Validation will come. And will it pay your bills? No. But you know what? Being at that point where it all makes sense, knowing that you're on the right side of history. But you are. And I said it the other night. I called it humanity the other night. But it's history. You're on the right side of history. You are on the right side of history, you guys. We all are. We're going through this all together. Arms locked, shoulder to shoulder, marching through this. We are the digital soldiers. And I am 100% honored to be going through this with each and every one of you. Arms locked, shoulder to shoulder. We'll see how it ends, but I feel like the mere fact that we have strength within a chat or a live stream is just a very, very small sampling percentage of what it must be all across the world. There must be channels maybe like this that have 20 or 30 or 50 or 100 or whatever people that are subscribed, that it's their pocket of truth and they get it. And there must be a lot of those. And a lot of them do funnel into the bigger channels that we see. Some of the channels that I have put up and spoke openly about that I love and have come to rely upon. I've told you about them. I've seen some of you guys in the chats from time to time, but yeah. So how's that for taking a night off of social media? Although I did take last night off, totally. And I meant to, except I called in the Mel show, and I might have seen some of you there, but I didn't mean to. I meant to like just not go on live. I don't know. Maybe it's telling me something, telling myself to chill more. You know, live a better life. The truth is in front of you. It's right here. There's no reason for you to step away, which it was great to get away for like a day and a half. It was just to not really do anything with it. It was cool. So I don't know, guys, but whatever. I'm just gonna keep doing live streams, and I know there was some confusion on the last one where because I had some of y'all text me going, "I'm gonna miss you," you're not doing any more live streams. No, I'm gonna keep doing live streams. My whole thing to say was I didn't articulate very well at all. Was that I was gonna step away from like getting into the constant message of different channels and all this, and I was just going to step away from like that side of social media. Like I have to step away from it. You know what I mean? And it backfired, and it didn't work. Turns out I'm not as burned out as I maybe felt like I was that day. I don't know. So I just keep going. But I appreciate you guys. You guys, nobody pushed nothing. It was awesome. It's good seeing you guys. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate it like crazy. I do. A lot. That's right, redneck prepper. That's right. It's good to see you too, by the way. And food stamp, I see you in there making some comments. Let's see what's going on. I was gonna shut it down, and I will. Wow, so much for going on for like 10 minutes. This has been long. 33 minutes. Okay. All right. I love every one of you, and now you know this. So there's that. I'll see you guys soon. Pay attention to your surroundings. Watch the news. There's some really great things about to happen on mainstream television. They can't contain it anymore, by the way. They can't contain any of it anymore. ABC, the whole Amy Klobuchar hot mic interview. She's talking all about the Epstein case, right? 3 years ago. How many lives could it have saved? These bastards are on the hook. I know I spoke about it earlier. I love you guys. Have a great night. Fantastic to see you. And don't forget to pray. Okay, that's something forgetting to remind myself of. Because when I say that to you, don't forget to pray. I'm telling myself. It's very important to me to do that. So telling myself, don't forget to pray. And now I'm receiving that, and I will not forget to pray. So hopefully you'll join me or yourself. And prayer, I think, is wonderful. Just saying, not getting biblical. I think it's great, though. I think it's great for what it does inside of you, especially when you come to terms that if there's a creation, there's a creator. And if you can accept the fact that there's things that are created, then you can come to terms that there's a creator for all of that. Now, we don't need to know exactly what it means, but we must admit that it's something that's not explainable, not in rationale. It requires something called faith. And nobody's asking you to believe it on the first day. A lot like the Q drops, a lot like what went on with the Q. Nobody's asking anybody to just accept it. I was thinking about this actually, and I might have brought this up in my last live stream. Now that I say it, because I don't quite remember, because imagine that. But this thought is a reoccurring thought now to me, so I'm going to repeat it. Is that I was thinking about if I had to try to explain Jesus Christ to somebody and what it meant to be true versus having to explain to somebody that didn't know what Q was and the Q plan and what it entitled. And you know what I came down to the very disappointing fact was when I did some inward inventory and started thinking about it is that I would argue and fight much harder for what the Q drops mean to me than what Jesus Christ means to me. You dig what I'm saying? Somewhere in all of this, that emotion somehow needs to change, where I feel like I should be spreading that news about Jesus and God with the same flavor and favor actually that I have talking about Q and what's going on. If you think about it, the disciples were trying to give out the good news, the truth, the way, the light. What are we trying to do? Give out the truth, the way, the light. Are we not trying to do the same thing that the disciples were doing? I was having that thought the other day. And I'm like, man, I ain't never attacked trying to put the message out for Christ the way that I have trying to put the message out for Q. So what's up with that? Am I a hypocrite? I agree with you. You can do both, Bill. I agree with that, Mel. I agree with that. I do. I do agree with that. It was just weird that it came to me to think about it, I guess, in that perspective. But you're right. When I pray, I compartmentalize a lot. I like to take issues and put them right here and say, God, blah, 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 blah. Now I take this, I put that up there, and I take this and put it down in front of me. And we're going to pray about this and then this. And then I take this and I do that. And I compartmentalize all that shit. But I'm touching each thing and I'm praying about it. And I don't know. I don't know. Ain't life fun though? It's a hell of a ride. I'm loving it. There's so many setbacks in life. There's so many setbacks in life. And I get it. I understand. I've witnessed, or maybe even in some cases been through myself, so many traumatic instances that have just emotionally been affected by. My dad was a cop my whole life growing up, and I know I've told you this, but it adds an element when you see that come home and be explained or lived out, you know. And my older brother was 5 years older than me, and he was a complete criminal, and it made life very hard growing up where I did. Dad was a cop in the hometown. My brother was not good. Moved out of the town, went to Florida, was in jail on a 3-year sentence by the time he was 17. Just saying. I don't know. All right. All right. I definitely oh, redneck. That's awesome, man. All in caps. That's so true. Thanks. You're right. I mean, is what I want to say. I think so, man. I think so. I think that the word is getting out there again. I want to feel passion for God the way that I feel passion for Q. And I'm ashamed to admit that at this point, it ain't the same. I'm more devoted to God. I pray to God much more than I think about Q because I thank God for all things. But I know what the fire feels like for the yearning for truth. And that comes through what we've been given in the Q drops. And that's the switch I want to happen where I've got like that kind of burn. I was telling somebody I have never, ever had anything in my life that moves me and pushes me and commits me to truth more than this entire Trump presidency and the Q movement. There's not even a close second in my life. And that's not saying that like I have a bad life. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that when it comes to embracing and knowing where your North Star is, your truth, there's nothing, I don't know. There's nothing that's affected me like my absolute sincere yearning for the truth. So I know I've run that redundant again, and doing that. So I don't know. I feel bad when I do that. I'm sorry. I like hanging out with you guys because you just let me kind of run my mouth and do my thing, and that's fun for me. Probably not great for you guys all the time. It's probably not great. You guys should ask some questions or talk or something. I don't know. Just pet my dog. I think we got some great times ahead of us. I'll tell you that much. That is a message right there that I'll keep repeating all the time. I think that society, I think that people are in their you know mid to late teens and early 20s and late 20s and maybe even early 30s. Just it's going to be a cultural paradigm shift. I mean, he is making things better. And I'll spare you the details of saying why they can't get some of the stuff put through. Nancy Pelosi won't put through bills that he has ready to go that can be passed that will benefit our country financially. Big, big. And she won't put them up because she's focused on this impeachment, and she will not let him get a victory while this is going on. And it's an atrocity. Atrocity. Well, that's reprehensible. It is reprehensible, to tell you the truth. So my dog is yelling at me. God, go lay down. I'll be done in a minute. Go lay down. Days, go lay down. Come on, go lay down. This dog. Whispering words of wisdom, let it be. 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 Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Ooh. All right. Y'all are awesome. It's good to see you all. Thank you for being patriots, every one of you. Patriots are rare breed. We're becoming more and more. But, with any luck and maybe some blessings from the Father, those are always good to ask for. We'll get there quicker, and we'll get there in a better manner for mankind. And I do think that that's what the president actually wants, is not violence, a better future for everybody. So with that, I bid you adieu. Adieu. Parting is such sweet sorrow.